On December 20th, 1943, high above Germany, Second Lieutenant Charles "Charlie" Brown was struggling. His American bomber, B-17 Olde Pub, was critically damaged. Brown was wounded, his tail gunner Sergeant Hugh "Eki" Eckenrode was dead, and other crew members were severely injured. Their B-17 had been hit by flak near Bremen, knocking out an engine and crippling another. This left them vulnerable and lagging behind their formation. German fighters swarmed them, riddling the plane with bullets. The tail was shot to pieces, the nose cone was gone, and essential systems were destroyed. The bomber's interior flapped in the wind through gaping holes. But B-17s were tough, and somehow, Olde Pub kept flying. Brown briefly blacked out from pain and blood loss, sending the bomber spiraling. He regained consciousness just a few hundred feet from the ground, regaining control and turning west towards England, 250 miles away. He couldn't get the B-17 much above 1,000 feet, and knew he'd passed a German airfield. Soon, a German Messerschmitt Bf-109 was flying in close formation beside him. Brown could see the German pilot clearly, who gestured for him to land. Most of the B-17's guns were out, and none could fire back. Brown simply shook his head. The Messerschmitt flew alongside for a moment, then slid away, above and behind. Brown braced for the end, but no gunfire came. To his astonishment, the German fighter was escorting him. It stayed with them as they crossed the coastline and flew out over the North Sea. Only when they were well clear of German airspace did the fighter pull close again. The German pilot looked at Brown, raised a gloved hand in salute, and then turned his aircraft east. Brown managed to land Olde Pub at an airbase in East Anglia, not their home base. He and all his crew, except for the tail gunner, survived. At the debriefing, Brown recounted the incredible escort. The USAAF decided to keep the story secret. An honorable German pilot didn't fit their narrative. Charlie Brown survived the war, went to college, and rejoined the Air Force, retiring as a colonel in 1965. It wasn't until 1986, at a gathering of the Eagles meeting of retired combat pilots, that he first shared his story. The response was strong, but some doubted the incident, and even Brown began to wonder if his hazy memories were playing tricks on him. Determined to find the German pilot and confirm his sanity, Brown searched for 4 years. In 1990, he received a letter from a man named Stigler, living in Canada. Stigler confirmed he was the pilot. On December 20th, 1943, Franz Stigler was a 27-kill veteran pilot. He had just refueled his Messerschmitt Bf-109 G6 when Olde Pub flew by. He took off, intending to shoot down the American bomber. However, as he closed in, he saw the extent of the damage. He later said he'd never seen a more severely damaged aircraft still flying. Stigler's commander had a rule: never fire on an enemy descending by parachute. The B-17 crew hadn't bailed out, but they were clearly unable to fight. Stigler couldn't bring himself to attack. Instead, he flew alongside, gesturing for Brown to land, convinced the crippled plane couldn't make it back to England. When Brown refused, Stigler made an extraordinary decision. He flew close formation with the B-17, hoping to deter German flak batteries. He escorted the bomber well out over the North Sea, clear of German airspace, before leaving it to continue its journey. Stigler never told anyone what he did. Sparing an enemy bomber could have meant severe punishment, even execution. But he often wondered if the B-17 had made it back. He continued flying fighters throughout the war and emigrated to Canada in 1953, where he started a successful business. When Charlie Brown contacted him in 1990, Stigler confirmed every detail of Brown's story. Franz Stigler and Charlie Brown were astonished to discover they had been living less than 200 miles apart for much of their lives since the war. Stigler in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Brown in Seattle, Washington. In their later years, the two men remained close friends, often visiting and sharing their remarkable story with other flyers.